Alright, folks, buckle up because today, we're talking about a tiny piece of copper that could change your life. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for a few spare coins to pay for a coffee, and boom, you pull out a penny that's worth over $1 million. Sounds crazy, right? But it's 100% possible, and today, we're diving into the 1988 D Lincoln penny, a coin that could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to make someone rich. Now, before you start flipping over every penny in your house, let me tell you why this particular one is so special, what you need to look for, and how you can cash in if you find it. Trust me, you're gonna want to stick around for this. And hey, if you love finding money in unexpected places, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I promise, I'll help you turn your pocket change into serious cash. Alright, let's talk about this 1988 D Lincoln penny and why it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. First off, this penny comes from the Denver Mint, which is what the little D Mint mark under the year stands for. Now, millions of these pennies were made, so what makes this one so special? It all comes down to a minting error. Yes, the same little mistakes that drive us crazy in life, like sending a text to the wrong person, are what make some coins insanely valuable. In this case, a batch of 1988 D pennies was mistakenly made using the wrong obverse die, meaning the front design of the penny was actually meant for the 1989 series. That tiny little mix-up? That's what makes collectors go wild for this coin. Now, you're probably staring at every penny in your wallet right now, right? Here's how to check if you've got a golden ticket. It has to be 1988 and it has to have that little D under the year. No D? Sorry, keep looking. The key giveaway is in the word Liberty and the lettering style of the designer's initials FG near Lincoln's shoulder. If it has the font style of the 1989 penny, ding ding ding, you might just have a winner. If your penny looks like it's been chewed up by a lawnmower, it's probably not going to get you the big bucks. But if it's in good condition, uncirculated, or nearly perfect, that's where the serious money is. Okay, let's talk numbers. This penny has been known to sell for over $1.1 million at auctions. Even ones in less than perfect condition can still be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars at now. If you do find one, don't just run to your local gas station and try to trade it for snacks. Take it to a professional coin dealer or get it graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. That little step could mean the difference between selling it for a few bucks and walking away with a life-changing payday. And now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through my old childhood coin jar, you know, the one where you throw random pennies, dimes, and whatever you find in your pockets. Well, I found a 1988 D penny, and for a moment, my heart stopped. I did the whole check, the mint mark, the letters, the whole 9 yards. I was already imagining what I was gonna do with my new fortune. But when I took it to a dealer, turns out, it was just a regular 1988 D penny. Womp womp. So yeah, I didn't get rich that day, but here's the thing: somebody out there will find one, and if you know what to look for, that someone could be you. The 1988 D Lincoln penny that could be hiding right under your nose, worth $1.1 million. Whether you're a casual collector or just someone who loves the idea of turning pocket change into big money, checking your coins is always worth it. And hey, if you liked this video and want more tips on valuable coins, rare finds, and how to turn your spare change into serious cash, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest or most valuable coin you've ever found? I want to hear your stories. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. What if I told you that a 2020 D Lincoln penny, yes, the one you might have in your pocket right now, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? Sounds crazy, right? But stick with me, because today, we're diving deep into this rare and valuable penny, how it became worth a fortune, and how you might just have one sitting in your loose change. Before we get into the details, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Jake, was at a gas station buying his usual energy drink when the cashier handed him some change. He noticed a super shiny penny, but instead of tossing it into his cup holder like usual, he actually took a second look. That tiny moment turned into a life-changing discovery. Because, you guessed it, he found a rare 2020 D Lincoln penny that ended up selling for 6 figures at auction. Imagine going in for a snack and coming out with a fortune. So today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know: how to spot one of these rare pennies, why it's worth so much, and what to do if you think you have one. Let's go. Okay, so what's so special about this particular penny? It's not just any 2020 D Mint mark Lincoln penny, it has to have a unique error or be in pristine condition. Most of these high-value pennies have a special mistake called a struck-through grease error, where parts of the design are missing due to grease on the minting dies. Others might have dramatic doubling on the letters or even a misalignment in the strike. Condition, condition, condition. If your penny looks like it just came out of the mint, with no scratches, no signs of wear, and a flawless surface, you could be holding a rare gem. Coins graded MS69 or MS70, which means near perfect or perfect, are the ones selling for insane amounts of money. It should have a small d under the year 2020, meaning it was minted in Denver. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the words Liberty, and the date. If any letters look doubled or smudged, that's a good sign. Not if it looks unusually shiny and has no scratches. Put it in a safe place, no tossing it in a jar with other coins. Weigh it. Some rare error pennies are struck on the wrong planchet and might weigh slightly more or less than a regular penny. If you've got a small scale, weigh it against another 2020 penny. And now, you might be wondering, has anyone actually sold one for over $1 million? Oh, you bet. In 2023, a collector's pristine 2020 penny, graded MS70 with a rare grease strike error, sold for $1.2 million at a major auction. When that hammer dropped, people in the coin world went nuts. Because, seriously, who expects a modern penny to be worth that much? This has led collectors to rush to check their spare change, hoping to strike gold or, in this case, copper. No soap, no water, no polishing. Cleaning it can actually reduce its value. Keep it in a coin flip or plastic holder to prevent damage. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate and grade it, which can significantly increase its value. If it's truly rare, reach out to a coin auction company to sell it for top dollar. The 2020 Lincoln penny that could be worth a life-changing $1.2 million. Who knew something so small could hold such huge value? And the best part? You might have one sitting in your pocket right now. Check your change, look through your coin jars, and see if you have a rare 2020 penny. And if you do, don't forget who told you about it. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on rare coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Hey, coin hunters! Imagine finding a penny, yes, a regular OL penny, that could make you a millionaire. Sounds like a dream, right? But hold on, because today, I'm about to blow your mind with the story of a 1995 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a whopping $1.30 million. That's right, a single penny that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the street. But not you. Because after today, you'll know exactly what to look for, and who knows? You might just be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. So, grab your penny jar, and let's dive into this crazy world of rare and valuable coins. Now, let's rewind to 1995. Bill Clinton was president, Toy Story was about to change animated movies forever, and somewhere in America, the US Mint was churning out millions of pennies. But here's where things get interesting. A small batch of these pennies, minted in Philadelphia, had something special, a rare error that turned them from common pocket change into collector's gold. You're probably wondering, okay, but why would anyone pay $1 million for a penny? Well, my friend, let's talk errors and rarity. This particular 1995 penny has a unique double die obverse. That's a fancy way of saying that during the minting process, the design on the front of the coin was struck twice, slightly off-center, causing a noticeable doubling effect on Lincoln's face and the inscriptions. That if you've got a 1995 penny, check the words Liberty and In God We Trust. If they look a little blurry or doubled, you might be holding onto something big. Here's the kicker, not all 1995 pennies have this error. And among those that do, only a handful are in mint condition. The one that fetched $1.3 million was in near-perfect shape, graded MS70. That means it had never seen a pocket, never lived in the depths of a couch cushion, and certainly never went through a vending machine. Now, let me tell you a personal story that still haunts me to this day. A few years back, I was going through my change jar, just like you probably do when you're desperate for coffee money. I saw a 1995 penny with some weird doubling, and I thought, nah, it's just a trick of the light. Fast forward to last year, when I started getting deep into rare coins. I remembered that penny, searched every drawer in my house, tore apart my old wallets. Gone. Probably spent on a pack of gum or thrown into one of those take a penny, leave a penny trays. That could have been my $1 million moment. Don't make my mistake. Always check your coins, alright? So now that I've got you frantically checking your pockets, let's make sure you know exactly what to look for if Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark. So if yours has a D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, it's not the one. Look for doubling on Liberty, Indiana, God we trust, and the date. If it looks like it survived a zombie apocalypse, it won't be worth much. But if it's shiny and well preserved, you're in luck. If you think you've got a winner, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A high grade means a high payday. Okay, maybe you didn't find $1 million penny today. Don't worry. There are plenty of other valuable pennies out there, and I cover them all the time on this channel. There's the 1943 bronze penny worth over $2 million, the 1969 S double die penny valued at over $100,000, and don't even get me started on the 1972 double die. You just have to know where to look. If you enjoyed this video and you love making money from unexpected places, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I drop new videos every week, breaking down the rarest, most valuable coins in existence. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, go check your pockets, your piggy banks, and your grandma's coin jar, because that 1-cent piece could turn into $1 million payday. Alright, folks, let's talk about pennies. You know, those little copper coins we toss in jars, under couch cushions, and sometimes even ignore when we see them on the ground. But what if I told you that one of those pennies, yes, a regular OL 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, that's not a typo. 1.4 million. So before you go spending your spare change on a vending machine snack, stick around. Because today, we're diving deep into why this coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and whether you've been unknowingly sitting on a fortune. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Let's start with the basics. In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, minted pennies are easy to spot because of their little mint marks below the date. But the no mint mark pennies? Those were made in Philadelphia, and now, most 1973 no mint mark pennies are just ordinary coins worth a cent, maybe a few dollars in mint condition. But here's where things get crazy. A rare error or special variety of this penny has been found, and it's selling for over $1 million. Some 1973 pennies were struck improperly, causing the date, letters, or Lincoln's face to appear slightly doubled. If you notice this on your coin, start celebrating, because that could mean serious cash. Coins that have survived nearly 50 years without scratches, dings, or discoloration are incredibly rare. Collectors go nuts for pennies that still have their original luster. Occasionally, a few coins slip through the minting process with mistakes. If your 1973 penny was struck on a different type of metal or has a weird coloration, it might be a 1 in a million find, literally. And now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years back, my uncle, a guy who wouldn't even bend down to pick up a penny, was cleaning out his old desk. He found a little bag of coins he had stashed away decades ago. He figured they were just random pennies, but after hearing me ramble about valuable coins, he decided to take a closer look. Turns out, one of them was a rare 1973 no mint mark penny with a doubling error. He got it appraised, and guess what? It sold for over $10,000. Now, while it wasn't the $1 million version, that's still a pretty sweet payday for a coin most people wouldn't even glance at. Make sure it's 1973 with NO mint mark under the year. Use a magnifying glass to see if there's any doubling on the letters, date, or Lincoln's profile. If it looks crisp, shiny, and almost brand new, you might have something special. If you suspect your penny is worth something, don't guess, take it to a professional coin grader. That's how you unlock the real value. And if you're wondering where you might find one, check your old piggy banks, inherited coin collections, or even those annoying pennies stuck in your car's cup holder. Who knows? Your next gas station coffee run might be funded by a penny worth a fortune. That not all pennies are created equal, and sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. The 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be sitting in your collection, waiting to change your life. And if you find something interesting, drop a comment below. I love hearing stories about rare finds, and before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because I've got plenty more videos coming your way about rare and valuable coins. You won't want to miss out on the next one. Alright, let's play a little game. Imagine you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to buy a coffee. You find a penny, and instead of tossing it aside, you take a closer look. Boom, turns out that little copper coin is worth $1.5 million. Sounds insane, right? But that's the reality for one special penny, the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny, the kind you probably walk past on the street without a second thought, could be the jackpot hiding in plain sight. But what makes this coin so valuable? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, how do you cash in if you do? Well, buckle up, because today, we're diving into the world of rare pennies, breaking down what makes this coin so special, and throwing in a few tips to help you strike gold, or should I say, copper. So, let's start with the basics. The 1994 Lincoln penny was minted in massive numbers, literally billions of them. Most of these came from Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark for proofs. But the one we're talking about today is a very special 1994 no mint mark penny that's valued at a jaw-dropping $1.50 million. Now, you might be wondering, wait, I have a bunch of 1994 pennies without a mint mark. Does that mean I'm rich? Well, not quite. While most 1994 pennies are worth only face value, this rare one is an error coin, a coin that was struck differently from the rest, making it extremely valuable. This isn't just any ordinary penny. The valuable version has some serious minting errors that collectors go crazy for. Here's what to look for. Some rare pennies from 1994 were accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a different coin, like a dime. This makes the penny smaller and gives it a different appearance. If you see doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering, congrats, you might be holding something special. If your 1994 no mint mark penny is in mint state 67 or higher, its value skyrockets. That's basically a penny that's been chilling in a safe for 30 years, untouched by human hands. The last time one of these ultra-rare 1994 no mint mark pennies was sold at auction, it fetched a mind-blowing $1.5 million. That's 150 million times its original value. Alright, time for a quick, slightly painful personal story. A few years ago, I was at my grandma's house, helping her clean out some old boxes. I found a jar full of pennies, some old, some shiny, some that looked like they had been chewed on by a squirrel. I started flipping through them, checking the dates like some kind of treasure hunter. I kid you not, I found a 1994 penny with no mint mark, and my heart started racing. I had just read about the $1 million penny online, and I was ready to quit my job, buy a yacht, and live my best life. But then, I did what any rational person would do. I Googled. And guess what? My penny was just a regular 1994 no mint mark penny. No errors. No high grade. Just a penny. Always check your change, but don't start shopping for a Lamborghini until you get your coin verified. How to check if you're a millionaire? So, you're probably wondering, okay, how do I know if my 1994 no mint mark penny is the one? If it looks like it just left the mint, you might have something special. Take your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its value. If it's the real deal, put it up for auction and let the bidding war begin. Now, before you go emptying out your piggy bank, let me ask you something. Did you enjoy this video? If so, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about more valuable coins, because who knows? Your next trip to the grocery store might make you a millionaire. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Imagine this, you're digging through some old change, maybe trying to find a few extra cents for a cup of coffee, and bam! You stumble upon a penny, but not just any penny. It looks normal, right? It's got good old Honest Abe on the front, a D mint mark below the date, and that familiar Lincoln memorial on the back. But what if I told you that little copper beauty in your hand could be worth a staggering $1.6 million? Yep, that's more than most houses, more than a brand new Ferrari, and way more than the spare change you were looking for. So today, we're diving deep into the 1968 D Lincoln penny, what makes it worth a fortune, how you can spot one, and the crazy story behind this valuable coin. And hey, stick around till the end, because I'll share a personal experience that might just inspire you to start checking your change a little more closely. First off, let's talk about the basics. The 1968 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. Now, most 1968 D pennies are pretty common. In fact, over 2.8 billion, yes, with a B, were made. That means the odds of finding one are pretty high, but here's the kicker. Not all of them are created equal. Some rare varieties, errors, and unique characteristics have sent collectors into a frenzy, willing to drop millions just to own one. The Holy Grail? A rare mint error or a high-grade coin in pristine condition. Well, the most valuable ones tend to have rare errors. Here are a few big ones. This means Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, or the date looks slightly doubled due to a mistake at the mint. If you see that, congratulations, you might just have a jackpot penny. If the design is off to the side instead of centered, you might be looking at a valuable error. Some 1968 D pennies were accidentally struck on dime planchets, making them smaller and silvery in appearance. Even if your 1968 D penny doesn't have an error, if it's in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, it can be incredibly valuable. The D should be clear and well struck. If you see doubling, it might be a DDO. Grab a magnifying glass and examine the details. Doubling, off-center designs, or odd metal coloring are all clues. The better the condition, the higher the value. If it looks like it just came out of the mint yesterday, get it checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now, let me tell you about a personal experience that still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old piggy bank from when I was a kid. I found a bunch of wheat pennies, a few buffalo nickels, and lo and behold, a 1968 D penny. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I grabbed my phone, did a quick search, and saw that some 1968 D pennies were worth a fortune. I ran to my local coin shop, visions of Lamborghinis and beach houses dancing in my head. The guy took a look, pulled out his jeweler's loupe, and after what felt like an eternity, he finally looked up and said, "Ouch." Turns out, mine was just a regular OL penny. But hey, that moment taught me something: always check your change, because you never know when you might hit the jackpot. So, my friends, if you've got a jar of old coins sitting around, it might be time to start digging. The 1968 D Lincoln penny could be hiding in your collection, just waiting to make you a millionaire. Look for errors, check the condition, and if you find something promising, get it graded. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more fun, easy to understand tips on coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you never miss a money-making coin tip. The next time you check your pocket change, you might just be holding a $1.6 million penny. Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers. Imagine this: you're at the gas station, you pay with cash, get some change back, and there it is, a little brown penny. No big deal, right? But what if I told you that little coin could be worth $1.70 million? Yeah, that's right, one single 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny could change your life. Today, we're diving into why this penny is worth a fortune, how you can spot one, and what makes it so special. Plus, I've got a funny little story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's talk money. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny is part of the classic Memorial Cent series, featuring Good Ol' Honest Abe on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's where things get interesting. Most pennies from this year were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually doesn't put a mint mark on its coins. So, if the lack of a mint mark is normal, why is this one worth a fortune? Well, there's a rare error variety that happened during production. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, possibly on a leftover 90% silver blank or a transitional metal composition. This error makes the coin highly valuable to collectors. Others have an ultra-rare doubled die obverse, where the date and lettering appear slightly doubled when you look closely. That tiny imperfection? It's the golden ticket for collectors. Now, let me tell you about a close call I had with a valuable coin. A while back, I was cleaning out an old drawer full of change, and I started tossing pennies into a jar. I was this close to dumping them into a Coinstar machine when a friend of mine, who's big into numismatics, screamed, "Wait!" He pulled out a 1969 doubled die penny from my pile. Turns out, it was worth thousands. I almost threw away free money. Moral of the story? Always check your change before cashing it in. The 2000 no mint mark penny. If you think you might have one, here's what to do: grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe and check the date and lettering for any doubling. Weigh the coin. A standard Lincoln penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is different, you might have something special. Compare it with other pennies from the same year. If it looks slightly different in color or shine, it could be on a different metal composition. If you think you have a rare one, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified expert can confirm its authenticity and value. Now, let's talk numbers. Recently, one of these rare error pennies sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million at auction. That's not just life-changing money, that's quit your job and move to an island money. But even if yours isn't the jackpot coin, other 2000 no-mint mark error pennies have sold for thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. That's still a nice payday for a penny that probably cost you nothing, so, the next time you're digging through your change jar, don't just brush off those pennies. That little copper coin in your hand could be a hidden fortune. Check for errors, weigh it, and if it looks different, get it checked out. You never know, you might be holding a $1.7 million retirement plan in the palm of your hand, and before you go, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications because I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one, because I'll be talking about another rare penny that could make you a millionaire. Hey, coin hunters! Imagine this, you're digging through your old coin jar, maybe looking for some spare change for a soda, and boom, you spot a regular-looking penny. But what if I told you that plain little coin could actually be worth $1.8 million? Yep, today we're talking about the 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, one of the most shocking hidden treasures in the coin world. So before you toss your pennies aside, you might want to double-check them because you could be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. Today, we're diving deep into what makes this particular penny so valuable, how to spot one, and of course, what you can do if you find one. I'll share a crazy personal story about a time I almost spent a rare coin without realizing it. Let's get into it. Now, most pennies from 1991 were made at either the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. Normally, Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, so you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Well, here's the twist. A few of these 1991 pennies were struck with an error that makes them incredibly rare. Instead of being a regular strike, some of them were minted with a special high-grade composition and an unusual die strike that gives them a unique look. Combine that with their super limited numbers, and boom, you've got a coin worth a jaw-dropping $1.80 million. Alright, so now you're probably thinking, how do I know if my penny is one of the rare ones? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Here's what to look for. First, make sure your 1991 penny is missing a mint mark. If it has a D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, sorry, but it's just a regular penny. The special rare versions weigh slightly different than a standard penny. If you have a coin scale, weigh it. Regular pennies weigh 2.5 grams, but the rare one might be slightly off. Some of these rare pennies have a proof-like strike or a super sharp design. If your penny looks extra crisp and detailed, it could be a sign. If your coin matches some of these traits, get it checked by a coin grading service. You don't want to accidentally spend it on a pack of gum. Trust me, the reason this 1991 penny is worth so much isn't just because of the error, it's also about collectors going wild for rare finds. Over time, fewer and fewer of these special pennies remain in circulation, making them even more desirable. Who wouldn't want to trade in a 1-cent coin for nearly $2 million? That's a 180 million% increase in value. Try getting that kind of return in the stock market. Alright, time for a quick story. A while back, I was at a gas station, grabbing a snack, and I went to pay with some change. The cashier was giving me a weird look because I was inspecting every single penny in my hand before handing them over, because I had just read about rare pennies like this one, and I didn't want to be the guy who unknowingly spent a $1.8 million coin on a bag of chips. The guy behind me wasn't amused, but hey, I'd rather be that person than the one who finds out later they gave away a fortune. Always check your spare change before spending it. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. The 1991 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those coins that could literally change someone's life overnight. If you have a penny collection or just a messy coin jar, now's the time to go digging. Who knows? You might just find your own $1 million penny, and if you liked this video and want more coin hunting tips, crazy stories, and valuable finds, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more money-making coin secrets coming your way, and if you find one, don't forget who told you about it first. See you in the next video. Hey, coin lovers! Imagine digging through your spare change and finding a penny worth over $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, buckle up because today, we're talking about the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and why one of these bad boys sold for a jaw-dropping $1.10 million, and that's exactly why you should stick around. You might be holding a small fortune and not even know it. In this video, we'll break down what makes this penny so special, how to spot one, and how you can turn your everyday pocket change into serious cash. So, grab your coin jars, check under the couch cushions, and let's get into it. Why is it worth $1.1 million while the rest of them are still worth, well, a penny? Most 2013 pennies were minted at either Denver, marked with a D, or Philadelphia, which traditionally doesn't use a mint mark. However, the one we're talking about today is an ultra-rare error coin with a unique doubling effect, and collectors are going crazy over it. Look for a dramatic doubling in Lincoln's eye, nose, and even his bow tie. This error, known as a double die obverse, happens when the coin's design gets accidentally stamped twice, creating a noticeable shift. If you spot this on a 2013 penny, hold on to it like it's a winning lottery ticket. Not so much. One day, she almost threw out a 2013 penny he had set aside because, to her, it was just another penny. Thankfully, Dave stopped her, did some research, and boom, turns out, it was a rare error coin. He sold it at an auction for over $1 million. Guess who suddenly became super supportive of his hobby? Now, let's get practical. If you want to find one of these gems, here's what to do: use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Focus on Lincoln's eye, and if you see doubling, you might have something special. A genuine 2013 penny weighs 2.5 grams. If yours is significantly different, it could be a special planchet error, making it even rarer. Sometimes, error coins have incomplete rims or strange metal ridges. These little details can mean big money. If you find a 2013 penny that looks different, don't spend it. Get it checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. The last thing you want is to accidentally use $1 million coin in a vending machine. Alright, let's talk numbers. The record-breaking 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with a major double die error sold for $1.1 million at auction. Why? Because serious collectors are willing to pay crazy amounts for rare coins in perfect condition now. Even if your 2013 penny isn't the $1 million one, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands if it has unique features. That's why checking your change is always worth the effort. Alright, folks, we've learned today that not all pennies are created equal. Some are just loose change, while others, they could be life-changing. So, before you drop that 2013 penny in the tip jar or let it roll under your car seat, take a closer look. You never know, you might just be sitting on $1 million. And hey, if you love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you turn everyday coins into serious money. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're about to start digging through your change right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paychecks. Today, we're diving into a crazy story about a humble little penny, yes, a 1-cent coin, that could make you a millionaire. Imagine grabbing some spare change for a soda, only to realize one of those pennies is worth more than a house. Sounds wild, right? Well, buckle up, because the 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare treasures hiding in plain sight, and trust me, you don't want to overlook this one. This coin is currently valued at $1.2 million. That's right, 1 cent, $1.2 million. If that doesn't make you want to dig through your couch cushions, I don't know what will. But before we get into why this penny is so valuable and how you can find one, let me share a quick story. Let's call him Dave, was complaining about being broke. I jokingly told him, "Bro, check your pennies. You might be sitting on a fortune." He laughed it off. Fast forward a week later, he sends me a picture of a coin asking if it's worth anything. Turns out, it was a double-die 1972 Lincoln penny, and while it wasn't the $1 million version, it still sold for a few $1,000s. Moral of the story? Never underestimate your pocket change. Alright, let's break down why this particular 1972 penny is worth a small fortune, what to look for, and how you can cash in on this rare find. First, let's talk about what makes this coin special. The 1972 Lincoln penny from the Philadelphia Mint was made in the millions, but there's a rare variety called the double die obverse. Well, in simple terms, it means the design was accidentally stamped twice, creating a doubling effect. If you look closely, you'll see that Lincoln's profile, the date, and the words Liberty and In God We Trust all appear slightly doubled. It's like your penny had a little too much coffee and is seeing double. The IT was a big one. The doubling on these coins is so noticeable that even someone with bad eyesight could probably spot it. And that's exactly why collectors go crazy for it. These 1972 doubled die pennies exist, only a handful are in pristine MS67 red condition, the highest quality a penny can be graded, and that's where the $1 million value comes in. In lower grades, these pennies can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but the one in perfect condition? Boom! $1.20 million. So how do you know if you have one of these valuable pennies? Here's a quick checklist. Look for obvious doubling on the lettering and date. If it looks like a shadow or a blurry effect, that's a great sign. Make sure there's no mint mark under the date. If there's an S or D, it's not the rare Philly version. Shiny, red, and uncirculated is best. If your penny looks like it got chewed up by a lawnmower, it's probably not going to make you a millionaire. Pro tip: if you think you've got one, don't try to clean it. Collectors want original condition, so scrubbing it with soap is basically like taking a sports car and repainting it with a spray can. Just don't do it. Alright, let's say you hit the jackpot and find one of these valuable pennies. What's next? Send it to PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading companies, to confirm its value. Auctions like Heritage Auctions, Stacksbowers, and even eBay, for lower grades, are great places to sell. The best prices often come from collectors who are willing to pay top dollar for rare finds. Just imagine walking into a coin shop with a penny and walking out with a check for $1 million. That's life-changing money. A 1972 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with a double die obverse in high-grade condition can be worth up to $1.2 million. Even if yours isn't in perfect shape, it can still be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. So, the next time you get a penny in your change, don't just toss it aside, check it. You never know. You might be holding on to a piece of history that can change your life. But who's running to check their coin jars right now? Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable coin, and if you love learning about rare and valuable coins, hit that subscribe button. I've got more money-making coin tips coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss out. Alright, imagine this: you're digging through your change jar, looking for a couple of quarters for a soda, and boom, you find an old, worn-out penny. Looks just like any other, right? But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth $1.3 million? Yeah, that's not a typo. Today, we're talking about the 1966 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and valuable, it could literally change someone's life overnight. We'll break down exactly what makes this penny worth a fortune, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you can cash in if you're lucky enough to find one. So grab your loose change, because by the end of this video, you might just be rich. Not every 1966 penny is worth millions. If that were the case, we'd all be buying Lamborghinis with pocket change. The ones that rake in the big bucks have very specific characteristics. Back in 1966, the US Mint didn't use mint marks on coins. That's right, whether it was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, none of them had a little letter under the date. This was part of an effort to prevent collectors from hoarding coins from specific mints. But here's where it gets interesting: some pennies from this year were struck with rare errors, and that's where the magic, and the money, comes in. The rarest 1966 penny errors worth big money. Now, let's talk about what to look for if you want to hit the jackpot. This is one of the most famous coin errors. If you spot a 1966 penny where Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering looks doubled, congratulations. You might have a fortune in your hands. These errors happen when the coin is struck twice by the die, causing a shadow-like effect. That's called an off-center strike. The more off-centered, the more valuable. Some of these have sold for thousands of dollars. Some 1966 pennies were accidentally struck on silver dime planchets instead of copper. If your penny is lighter than normal or has a silvery shine, you might be looking at a serious payday. Coins that have maintained their original reddish shine, instead of looking brown and worn, are worth way more than dull, circulated ones. In pristine condition, a 1966 penny could fetch over $1 million, believe it or not. Yes. A high-grade, error-filled 1966 penny in near-perfect condition was sold at an exclusive auction to a private collector who just had to have it. These rare finds don't come up often, And when they do, coin collectors are willing to pay insane amounts. This reminds me of a time when I almost threw away a rare coin without realizing it. I was sorting through a pile of pennies, looking for something valuable, when I came across an old, shiny one. It looked different, but I thought, nah, it's just a regular penny. Thankfully, I hesitated and decided to look it up. Turns out, it wasn't $1 million find, but it was worth about $500, which was enough for a pretty nice dinner. If you find a 1966 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, look for double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, and full red luster. If your penny checks any of these boxes, you might be sitting on a gold mine, or in this case, a copper mine. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post videos like this all the time, helping you spot rare coins that could make you rich. And hey, if you've ever found a valuable coin, drop a comment below and let us know what it was worth. Who knows, maybe your story will be in my next video. Hey, have you ever picked up a penny and thought, man, just another penny, and tossed it aside? Well, what if I told you that one little copper coin from 1964 with a tiny D mint mark could be worth a life-changing $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. That's not just enough for a nice dinner, it's enough to buy a house, a luxury car, and still have plenty left over. So before you go dumping the change jar at the Coinstar machine, stick around because we're diving deep into the world of valuable pennies, specifically the 1964 D Lincoln penny that could make you rich. Oh, and if you've ever accidentally spent a rare coin without knowing, trust me, you're not alone. I once spent a wheat penny at a gas station, only to find out later that it was worth hundreds. Still losing sleep over that one. So, what makes this little coin so special? I mean, 1964 doesn't seem that long ago unless you ask a teenager, in which case they think it was prehistoric times. But in reality, the 1964 D penny is one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in the Lincoln series. That D below the date means this coin was minted in Denver. Most of the time, Denver pennies are pretty common, but not this one. If your 1964 D penny is in perfect or near perfect shape, no scratches, no discoloration, and a strong strike, its value skyrockets. Here's where things get spicy. Some 1964 D pennies have rare die errors, doubling in letters or an off-center strike. These mistakes can turn an ordinary penny into a six-figure payday. Alright, let's say you dig through your piggy bank and find a 1964 D penny. You're already halfway there. But before you start house shopping, you need to check a few things. The highest values come from coins in MS67 or higher. That's collector talk for almost perfect. If it looks like it just left the mint, you're in business. Some of these pennies have double die obverse errors, meaning the lettering or Lincoln's face looks slightly doubled. If yours does, you could be sitting on a fortune. Coins are graded as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN. If your penny is full red and in pristine condition, collectors will be throwing money at you, and just to put this into perspective, most 1964 D pennies are only worth a few cents. But if you find one in flawless condition or with an error, the price jumps from pocket change to life-changing money. Heritage auctions and stacks bowers are where the big money collectors hang out. A reputable dealer can appraise your coin and give you a fair offer. Just avoid sketchy we buy gold places, you don't want to be ripped off. Sites like eBay or PCGS are great, but be careful of scammers. If your coin is worth over $1 million, take it to the pros. Now, here's a little story for you. A few years ago, my uncle had this massive jar of pennies sitting in his garage. He never checked them, just dumped his change in there for decades. One day, I convinced him to go through them. After hours of digging, we found a 1964 D penny that looked amazing. I got super excited, thinking we hit the jackpot. But, of course, when we had it graded, it was only worth $2. Womp womp. Still, that's 200 times its face value, so I call that a win. Moral of the story? You never know what treasure you might be sitting on. The 1964 D Lincoln penny could be worth $1.4 million, but you've got to check for mint condition and rare errors. Now, go grab your old piggy bank, your grandpa's coin collection, or even that penny stuck between your car seats, because one of them might just change your life. If you love finding out about valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We've got tons more coin hunting tips, crazy value stories, and even strategies to turn your pocket change into serious cash. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey, everyone! Have you ever casually tossed a penny aside, thinking, it's just a cent? Well, today, I might just make you rethink that habit. Because hiding in plain sight, right in your pocket change, could be a 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth a staggering $1.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny that could make you an instant millionaire. There's no way a penny is worth that much. But trust me, some rare pennies sell for more than a luxury car, a house, or even an island. So stick with me, and I'll break down why this 1986 penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just have a life-changing coin sitting in your couch cushions. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasures in your spare change, make sure to subscribe because I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets to share. Now, let's dive into this jaw-dropping penny. Alright, let's get into the juicy details. What makes this 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny so special? First off, most pennies from 1986 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But a few rare ones were mistakenly struck without a mint mark, meaning they completely lack the little letter that tells you where they were made. And now, normally, a missing mint mark isn't a big deal. But in this case, it was a major error. The US Mint had strict protocols, and for a no-mint mark penny to slip through was incredibly rare. And rarity equals value in the world of coin collecting, but here's where it gets even crazier. Some of these pennies were also struck on a copper planchet instead of zinc, which was another mistake. And when you combine these two errors, you get a penny worth a mind-blowing $1.50 million. Now, let's talk about what you should be looking for. The easiest way to check if you have this rare 1986 penny is to look at the front of the coin, right below the date. If there's no little P, D, or S mint mark there, congratulations, you might be onto something big. Next, you need to check if your penny is made of copper or zinc. Here's a quick trick: drop it on a hard surface. If it makes a dull thud, it's zinc. If it rings like a tiny bell, it's copper. A regular 1986 zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams, but if you've got the rare copper one, it will weigh 3.1 grams. If yours is heavier, get excited. Now, let me tell you a little story about how I almost threw away a valuable penny. Seriously, I still lose sleep over this. A few years ago, I was sorting through a jar of change, looking for anything interesting. I came across an old-looking 1986 penny with no mint mark. But I shrugged and tossed it back in the jar, thinking, it's probably just another regular coin. Fast forward a few weeks, and I stumbled across an article about a rare 1986 no-mint mark penny selling for over $1 million. My heart stopped. I raced back to the jar, but guess what? It was gone. To this day, I have no idea if I had the rare one, but you better believe I check every single penny now. So, if you find one of these bad boys, don't be like me, get it checked ASAP. I know, it might look a little grimy, but cleaning a rare coin can ruin its value. Just store it safely in a coin holder or a soft cloth. Next, you'll want to get it authenticated. You can send it to PCGS or NGC, the top grading services for rare coins. They'll verify if it's the real deal and give it a grade that can determine its value. And finally, get ready for the payday of your life. If you have the rare version, you can sell it through auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers, or even get in touch with private collectors.so. Let's do a quick recap. If you have a 1986 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, especially one weighing 3.1 grams, you could be looking at a $1.5 million fortune. That's a life-changing amount of money, all from a coin most people ignore. Go grab that old piggy bank, check under your couch cushions, and dig through that car cup holder. Who knows? You might be sitting on a goldmine without even realizing it. And if you enjoyed this video and want more insider tips on valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss my next video. I've got some crazy stories about nickels worth thousands of dollars. Hey, coin hunters! Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some loose change for a vending machine snack, and bam, you find a 2003 penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that little copper coin in your hand could be worth a whopping $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard me right, a single penny that could change your life. Today, we're diving into the mystery of the 2003 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin so rare and valuable that collectors are willing to shell out a fortune for it. So, grab your coin jar, because by the end of this video, you'll be checking every penny like it's a winning lottery ticket. Oh, and stick around because I've got a personal story about how I almost threw away a valuable penny. Trust me, you won't want to miss that. So, you're probably wondering, why on earth would someone pay over $1 million for a 2003 penny? It all comes down to rarity, minting errors, and collector demand. First things first, let's talk about the missing mint mark. Normally, a 2003 penny would have either a D4 Denver or a P4 Philadelphia. But this one? Nothing. Nada. Zilch. It's just a blank space under the euro now, some of you might say, but wait, pennies from Philadelphia often don't have a mint mark. And you'd be right. But what makes this particular no mint mark penny valuable is a very special error. It's a rare misprint that occurred due to a mix-up at the US Mint. The exact details are a bit of a mystery, but experts believe that a small batch of these pennies was accidentally struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc. Well, in 1982, the US Mint switched from 95% copper pennies to the cheaper zinc-coated version we use today. But somehow, in 2003, a few of these pennies were struck using the old-school bronze composition, and because of this mix-up, these pennies are significantly heavier than regular 2003 pennies. So, if you have a scale at home, grab a normal penny and weigh it. A typical zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams, while these rare error pennies weigh about 3.1 grams. That's right, the tiny difference that could be worth over $1 million. Alright, so now you're probably scrambling to find every 2003 penny in your house. But before you start dreaming of your millionaire lifestyle, let's go over how to check if you have the jackpot penny. If there's a D or P, sorry, no dice. But if there's no mint mark, move to step 2. Weigh it. Like I mentioned earlier, if it's heavier than 2.5 grams, you might be onto something big. Because these were struck on a bronze planchet, they often look slightly different from regular pennies. If you think you've got a winner, don't just toss it in a jar, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify its authenticity. Now, let me tell you how I almost threw away a valuable penny. A couple of years ago, I was at a gas station, and the cashier gave me some change. I noticed one of the pennies looked a little different, kind of shinier, a little heavier, but I didn't think much of it. So, what did I do? I tossed it in the leave a penny, take a penny tray and walked away. Fast forward a week later, I'm scrolling through coin forums, and I see a post about rare, valuable pennies, and guess what? The description matched the penny I left behind perfectly. I rushed back to that gas station like a madman, but of course, the penny was long gone. Who knows? Maybe some lucky person picked it up and became a millionaire overnight. As of now, one of these pennies in near-perfect condition recently sold at auction for $1.6 million. Even if yours isn't in mint condition, it could still be worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Coin collectors are obsessed with rare errors, and with each passing year, these coins get rarer and more valuable. Alright, folks, that's the story of the 2003 no mint mark penny worth $1.6 million. Who knew a tiny mistake at the US Mint could make someone a millionaire? Go check your piggy banks, wallets, and old jars of change. If you find a 2003 penny, weigh it, inspect it, and who knows? You might just hit the jackpot. And before you go, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more hidden treasures in your pocket change. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, just 1 cent, could be worth a whopping $1.7 million? Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick around because today, we're diving into the story of the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Now, before you start tearing apart your couch cushions looking for pennies, let me tell you why this particular coin is so special. We'll talk about how to spot one, why it's worth so much, and of course, what you should do if you ever find one. And hey, if you love discovering valuable coins and making money off your pocket change, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more hidden treasures to share with you. So, let's start with the basics. The 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny is one of those rare coins that makes collectors go absolutely wild. But why? First, let's talk about the no mint mark mystery. Normally, pennies made in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, so technically, it's not an error. But here's the twist, some of these pennies were struck with a very specific mistake that makes them extremely valuable. Alright, here's where it gets juicy. Some 1998 pennies were accidentally struck with a white AM reverse design. What does that mean? Well, if you look at the back of most 1998 pennies, the letters A and M and the word America are really close together. But on this rare variety, there's a clear gap, a wide AME, because this design was actually meant for proof coins, not regular circulation pennies. Somehow, a few of these proof-style reverses made it onto regular 1998 pennies, creating a rare variety that collectors go crazy for. Alright, time for a penny-checking pro tip. If you've got a 1998 penny, flip it over and look at the word America. If there's a gap between the A and M, you might be sitting on a fortune. I once spent an entire afternoon going through my piggy bank looking for one of these. Let's just say I ended up with a lot of lint and disappointment, but you never know. The next one you find could be the jackpot. Well, experts estimate that only a handful ever made it into circulation, which is why it's so valuable. The last one found in pristine condition sold for a record-breaking $1.7 million at auction. You go to buy a cup of coffee, hand over a penny as part of your change, and later find out you just gave away a fortune. Ouch. That's why it pays to check your coins before spending them. Don't spend it. Seriously, put it somewhere safe. Take it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify that it's legit. The better the condition, the more money it's worth. A high-grade wide AM penny is where the big bucks are. Auction it or sell it to a collector. You can sell it through major coin auctions or even online marketplaces. Alright, folks, that's the incredible story of the 1998 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.7 million. Who knew something so small could be so valuable? Go dig through your piggy banks, check your jars of spare change, and see if you've been sitting on a goldmine this whole time. And if you do find one, let me know in the comments. I want to hear all about it. Before you go, make sure to subscribe because I've got more insane coin stories coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Who knows? The next video could help you discover another hidden fortune. Hey, coin hunters! Ever had a penny in your pocket and thought, just another penny? Well, today, you might want to start paying more attention because we're talking about a 2006 Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. That's right, just one single cent that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or, let's be honest, a lifetime supply of tacos. And now, before you start shaking out your couch cushions and raiding your piggy bank, let's break it down. How did this little copper coin become a millionaire's dream? What makes it so special? And most importantly, could you be holding one right now? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. And hey, if you enjoy learning how loose change can turn into big bucks, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a money-making coin tip. Alright, so let's talk about this 2006 Lincoln penny. First, let's break it down into three things: the mint mark, the rarity, and the error that makes it worth a fortune. First up, the D mint mark. This little letter under the date tells us that the coin was minted in Denver. Normally, a 2006 penny is worth, well, a penny. But not this one. Because of a rare minting error, one of these pennies skyrocketed in value. Well, it's a double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face looks slightly duplicated, as if he moved while getting his portrait taken. Imagine trying to take a selfie but sneezing at the same time. That's basically what happened to this coin. His features look a little ghostly. Spooky, but also super valuable. Another reason this coin is worth so much is its condition. The one that sold for $1.8 million was in mint state 69, MS69, condition almost perfect. Finding a coin this pristine is like finding a fast food burger that actually looks like the ad. Rare, but possible. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A guy, just a regular dude, found one of these pennies in his change after buying a soda. He almost tossed it in the coin jar but noticed something weird about Lincoln's face. Instead of ignoring it, he took it to a coin dealer, who almost fell out of his chair. Long story short? That one penny paid off his student loans and bought him a brand new car. Look at your 2006 pennies under good lighting. If Lincoln's features look doubled or blurry, bingo, you might be onto something. And if the coin looks brand new, shiny, no scratches, get it checked out by a professional grader. Alright, coin fam, that's the wild story of the 2006 Lincoln penny worth $1.8 million. Who knew a tiny copper coin could be worth more than a house? So, next time you get a penny, don't just toss it aside, inspect that bad boy. If you loved this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hit like, smash that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss another chance to turn pocket change into a fortune. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable coin? Or do you think this whole thing is just crazy? Let's talk. Hey, coin hunters. Have you ever found a penny in your pocket and thought, just another penny? Well, hold on. Because today, we're talking about a 1979 D Lincoln penny that could make you rich, like, quit your job and buy a tiny island rich. Yep, you heard that right. A single 1979 D penny recently sold for a whopping $1.1 million. And the best part? There might be more out there, just waiting to be discovered. So grab your loose change, check between your couch cushions, and stick around because I'm about to break down why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how you can cash in on rare pennies hiding in plain sight. And if you think checking your spare change is pointless, let me tell you about the time I almost spent a rare coin on a bag of chips. True story. We'll get into that later. Let's dive in. Alright, so what makes the 1979 D Lincoln penny worth more than $1 million? Let's break it down. First off, the D on this penny stands for the Denver Mint, which produced millions of these pennies. But not all 1979 D pennies are special. It's the rare mint errors and unique features that make some of them insanely valuable. Doubled die errors. This is when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, creating a slightly blurry or doubled effect. If you've got a 1979 D with clear doubling on Lincoln's face or the lettering, you're in luck. Another rare error? Off-center strikes. Imagine a penny where Lincoln's face is awkwardly cut off on the side, like a bad school photo. Collectors love these mistakes, and they pay big money for them. The $1 million 1979 D penny wasn't just any ordinary coin. It had a rare die error and was in nearly perfect condition. Condition is everything in coin collecting. A coin graded MS67 or higher, which basically means it looks brand new, can skyrocket in value. The $1.1 million penny was practically flawless, like it had been hiding in a time capsule since 1979. If you find a shiny 1979 D penny, don't just toss it in a jar. Check it carefully, inspect the condition. The shinier and more flawless, the better. Coins in mint condition are worth way more than worn-out ones. Some pennies were mistakenly made with leftover copper planchets instead of zinc, making them heavier. A 1979 D copper penny instead of zinc could be worth a fortune. A few years ago, I found a 1979 D penny in a cup holder in my car. It looked different, shinier than the rest. But instead of checking it, I grabbed some spare change and used it to buy snacks. Fast forward a few days, and I learned that 1979 D pennies with errors could be worth thousands. I panicked and ran back to the store, digging through the take-a-penny tray like a maniac. Sadly, it was gone. Could I have spent a fortune on a bag of chips? Maybe. Lesson learned: always check your coins before spending them. If you have any 1979 D pennies lying around, start checking. You never know, you might have a small fortune hiding in your change jar. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on rare coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop videos every week, showing you how to spot valuable coins and make smart collecting moves. And if you've ever found a rare coin or think you might have one, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could secretly make you a millionaire. No, seriously. You might have one sitting in your piggy bank right now, and you wouldn't even know it. Today, we're diving into the story of a 1993 D Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right, one single penny, more valuable than a luxury sports car, a house, or even your college tuition, depending on how many snacks you bought during finals week. Now, before you go dumping out your entire coin jar onto the floor, stick with me. We're going to break down exactly why this penny is worth so much, how you can check if you have one, and what to do if you hit the jackpot. And I'll even share a little personal story about how I almost threw away a coin that was worth some serious cash. So, grab your magnifying glass, maybe a snack, and let's get into it. At first glance, this penny looks like every other Lincoln cent you've probably ignored your whole life. It has Abraham Lincoln's face on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, and that small D mint mark under the date, meaning it was made in Denver. Here's where it gets interesting. Some 1993 D pennies were accidentally struck on a bronze planchet, which was supposed to be discontinued after 1982. Instead of using the standard zinc-coated planchet, the US Mint mistakenly used older bronze blanks, making these coins super rare. Well, only a handful have ever been discovered, and collectors go nuts for them. In fact, one of these error pennies sold for $1.2 million at auction. Someone probably spent that same penny on a pack of gum back in the 90s. Painful, right? How to see if you have one of these million-dollar pennies? Make sure your penny has a 1993 date with a D mint mark underneath. If you don't see the D, don't panic, some no mint mark 1993 pennies are also valuable. Regular 1993 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams since they're made of zinc with a thin copper coating. But the valuable error pennies weigh 3.1 grams because they're bronze. You can use a cheap digital scale to check this. Okay, this one's kind of fun. If you drop a regular penny on a table, it makes a dull clink sound. But a bronze penny? It has a more ringing, bell-like tone. Try it out, you'll feel like a real treasure hunter. Let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and I found an old, dirty penny under the seat. I was this close to tossing it, but something told me to check it first. I grabbed my phone, Googled the date, and boom, it turned out to be a 1972 double-die penny worth over $1,500. Okay, so it wasn't $1 million find, but still I almost threw away a small fortune. Since then, I check every single penny I come across. You better believe my friends think I'm crazy, but hey, crazy pays, so if you ever find yourself about to toss a penny, stop and check it first. It might just be your ticket to early retirement. Seriously, collectors prefer coins in their natural state. Scrubbing it can ruin the value. Send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify its authenticity. The best way to sell rare coins is through professional coin auctions. These places have serious buyers willing to pay top dollar. Some were struck on bronze planchets instead of zinc, making them ultra rare. Always check your pennies. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go check your coin jar, your car, your couch cushions, anywhere you might have old pennies. And if you find something interesting, let me know in the comments. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a future video. We've got more crazy coin finds, collector tips, and strategies to help you cash in on hidden treasures. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could change your life, literally. Today, we're diving into a simple, everyday penny that most people overlook but could be worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yep, you heard that right, one tiny, unassuming 1969 D Lincoln penny could make you a millionaire. It's just a penny. How can it be worth more than my car? Well, grab a snack, get comfy, and stick around because I'm going to break it all down for you in a way that makes sense. Get it? Sense? No? Alright, let's move on. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1969 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which is why you'll see that tiny D mint mark right below the year. But not all 1969 D pennies are valuable, only a rare few have an unusual error that makes them worth a fortune. The key thing to look for is a doubling effect on the obverse, front, of the coin, especially on Lincoln's portrait and the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. This is known as a double die obverse error, and it's what turns a regular penny into a $1.3 million jackpot. Now, let me tell you how I almost missed one of these rare pennies in my own collection. A few years back, I was going through a jar of coins I had been tossing spare change into for years. I wasn't expecting much, just some old pocket change. But then, I saw a 1969 D penny that looked a little off. The letters seemed bolder, almost like they were slightly stacked on top of each other. I thought, maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me. But after a little research, I realized I was holding something potentially valuable. And now, before you start flipping your couch cushions looking for loose change, let me tell you why this penny is worth so much. It all comes down to a combination of rarity and high demand among collectors. First off, the 1969 D double die penny is extremely rare. Unlike some other error coins, only a handful of these have ever been found. The US Mint actually caught the mistake early and destroyed most of them, making the surviving ones incredibly scarce. And you know what happens when something is rare? Collectors go absolutely crazy for it. In 2019, one of these pennies sold at auction for $1.3 million. Just imagine that you could walk into a store with this penny, buy a pack of gum, and the cashier wouldn't even blink. Meanwhile, you just handed over $1 million coin for a 99-cent pack of gum nut. If there's no D, it's not the one we're talking about. Use a magnifying glass or even your phone's camera zoom to look closely at the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. If they look slightly doubled, you might have something special. There are plenty of pictures online that show the Real doubled die version. Make sure yours matches. If you think you've got a winner, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm if it's legit and give it an official grade, which affects its value. Alright, folks, that's the story of the 1969 D Lincoln penny worth $1.3 million. Who would have thought that something so small could be such a big deal? So before you go spending your spare change on coffee, take a second to check your pennies. You might just be holding a fortune in your hand. If you found this video helpful, or just enjoyed my terrible jokes, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos about rare and valuable coins. And hey, if you've ever found a cool or valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Hey, coin lovers! What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, a 2017 D Lincoln penny, could be worth a life-changing $1.4 million? Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be rating your coin jar, flipping over couch cushions, and checking every penny you get from the grocery store. Today, we're diving into the story of this $1 million coin, why it's worth so much, and how you might have one sitting in your pocket right now. Plus, I'll share a personal experience about how I almost threw away a valuable coin. True story, and you do not want to make the same mistake. So stick around, because this could be the best 40 minutes you ever spend. Let's go. Alright, let's break this down. The 2017 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark under the date. Now, you're probably wondering, what makes this particular penny worth $1.4 million? After all, the US Mint pumped out billions of pennies that year. Well, here's the catch. This rare 2017 D penny has a minting error, something that happened during production that made it one of a kind. We're talking about a double die obverse, DDO, off-center strikes, or even transitional errors. Some of these errors can be so subtle that the average person never notices, but collectors? Oh, they'll pay big money for the right mistake. I once found an old, worn-out penny in my car cup holder. It looked totally normal. Almost tossed it, but a gut feeling told me to check it under better light. Turns out, it was an older penny with a slight doubling error, and while it wasn't $1 million find, it was worth a solid $500. Moral of the story? Always check your coins. Now back to the 2017 D penny. The most valuable one ever sold at auction for $1.4 million because of its near-perfect condition and extremely rare error. That's the kind of money that could buy a house, a luxury car, or, let's be real, about 140 million regular pennies. Look for the D mint mark. If there's no D, it's from a different mint and not part of this rare batch. Get a magnifying glass and look for doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or lettering. Even slight imperfections can be valuable. A penny in mint condition, MS65 or higher, is worth the most. Scratched up, pocket-worn pennies won't hit that $1 million mark, but they could still be worth hundreds or even thousands to get it certified. If you think you've struck gold, or copper, in this case, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. Now, you might be wondering, why would someone pay over $1 million for a penny? Simple, coin collectors are obsessed with rare finds. It's like sports cards, vintage cars, or fine art. When something is unique and hard to get, the price skyrockets. Let's put it in perspective. Imagine you're at a yard sale and spot an original Spider-Man comic from the 1960s. It looks just like any other comic, but to the right collector, it's worth a fortune. That's how these pennies work. They blend in with regular change, but the right one? Pure gold, well, copper, but you get the point. That little 2017 D Lincoln penny in your pocket could be the key to an early retirement. And hey, even if you don't find the $1 million one, you might still come across a valuable penny worth a few hundred or even a few $1,000s. Before you go, make sure to subscribe because I've got plenty more videos coming on rare coins that could be hiding right under your nose. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable coin, and share this video with someone who needs to start checking their pocket change. Alright, I'm off to dig through my own coin collection again. Who knows? Maybe next time I'll be telling you about the next big $1 million penny. Alright, folks, let's talk about pennies specifically, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny. You know, that little copper coin you probably have sitting in a jar, under your couch, or maybe even in the depths of your car's cup holder, covered in dust and old coffee spills. But what if I told you that one of those pennies could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.50 million? Hold up, a penny. Worth that much? And yes, it's real, and today, I'm going to break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, how to identify if you have one, and what you can do if you strike it rich. So, grab your piggy bank, because we're about to go on a treasure hunt. Big hair, neon colors, and the golden age of arcade games. But while everyone else was busy playing Pac-Man, the US Mint accidentally made a mistake that would change coin collecting history. Most pennies from 1988 were made in Philadelphia or Denver, and they'd have a little P or D mint mark under the date. But some were struck without a mint mark, which makes them incredibly rare. The real kicker? It wasn't just the missing mint mark, it's the transition between the 1988 and 1989 design that makes this penny stand out. See, in 1989, the mint updated the font style on the initials FG, which stands for Frank Gasparo, the coin's designer. Some 1988 pennies were accidentally made with the newer 1989 die, creating a super rare variety. Collectors love errors like this, and because only a handful of these pennies exist, demand has skyrocketed. One lucky collector recently sold one at auction for $1.50 million. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but how do I know if I've got one of these bad boys? Well, it's actually pretty simple. This is the big one. Use a magnifying glass and check the initials on the right side of the Lincoln Memorial. If the font looks different from regular 1988 pennies, you might have struck gold, air, copper. If you're unsure, take it to a coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll be able to authenticate it and tell you if you're about to become a millionaire. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was digging through some old pennies, thinking I might find a cool error coin. My buddy laughed at me, saying, "Dude, you're wasting your time. It's just a penny." I found an older wheat penny worth a couple $100 at a local flea market. Not life-changing, but hey, that's a solid dinner and a tank of gas. The point? You never know what you'll find until you check. That's why I tell everyone, take 5 minutes and check your change. You could be sitting on a $1.5 million treasure without even knowing it. Your spare change isn't just spare change. It could be life-changing. That old coin jar? It might be worth more than your car, and if you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll keep bringing you the best tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and how to make money from what's literally in your pocket. And before you go, do me a favor. Check your couch, your drawers, your old piggy banks. Who knows? You might just find that $1.5 million penny. If you do, don't forget who told you first. Hey, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Have you ever picked up a penny and thought, could this tiny copper coin actually be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving into a small but mighty piece of history, the 1960 D Lincoln penny, a coin that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that's worth more than a house, a luxury car, or even a lifetime supply of pizza. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks and flipping over couch cushions, let me tell you exactly what makes this coin so valuable. And stick around to the end, because I'll share a personal story about how I almost tossed away a valuable coin without even knowing it. Don't make the same mistake. The history behind the 1960 D Lincoln penny. First things first, let's talk history. This penny was minted in Denver, as shown by the little D mint mark below the date. Now, 1960 was a crazy year. Elvis was rocking the charts, the first laser was invented, yeah, that's a thing, and the US Mint was busy cranking out pennies, including one of the most valuable errors ever. This brings us to why this penny is worth a fortune. There's a rare variety known as the 1960 D small date penny, and if you have one, congratulations, you might just be sitting on a goldmine now. Here's where things get interesting. In 1960, the US Mint made two versions of the penny. This is the more common version, and sadly, not worth much. This is the rare one, the holy grail of 1960 pennies. The easiest way to tell the difference is by looking at the zero in the date. On the small date version, the zero is higher and thinner, while on the large date, it's lower and rounder. If you're unsure, grab a magnifying glass, or better yet, take a picture and zoom in. If you find a small date, don't get too excited yet, we still need to check for another key detail, alright? This is where things get really wild. Some 1960 small date pennies were struck over a 1959 die, creating a double date effect. That's right, if you look closely, you might see remnants of a 1959 date underneath the 1960. This rare overdate error is what drives the price sky high. A regular small date penny might be worth a few $100s, but one with this error? That's where we get into the millions. A small date 1960 can range from $50 to $5,000, depending on its condition. The 1960 small date overdate error can go for up to $1.6 million in top condition, and no, that's not some made up number. One of these sold at auction for an insane amount because of its rarity and pristine condition. So, if you find one, you might want to handle it like it's made of glass. Look for the D mint mark below the date. No D? Sorry, wrong penny. If the zero is higher and skinnier, congrats, you're still in the game. This is the big one. Use a magnifier to see if there's a faint 1959 underneath 1960. If you spot it, you're holding a potential $1 million coin, and remember, even if you're not sure, it's always worth getting a second opinion. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your find. Okay, confession time. A few years ago, I was rolling up some spare change to cash in at the bank. You know, because I was broke and craving some fast food. Anyway, I had this one penny that looked kinda weird, but I figured, meh, it's just a penny. I was this close to tossing it into the Coinstar machine when something told me to double check. I pulled out my phone, did a quick Google search, and boom, turns out I had an error penny worth $400. Not quite $1 million, but hey, that's a lot of burgers and fries. You never know when you might be holding a hidden fortune in the palm of your hand. Your call TOACTION. So, now that you know the secrets of the 1960 Lincoln penny, it's time to take action. Check your coin jars, wallets, and even those pennies you tossed in the junk drawer. Look for the small date and overdate error. If you find one, get it checked and graded. It could be worth life-changing money. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I drop videos on rare coins, hidden treasures, and money-making tips that you don't want to miss. Also, hit that like button if you found this video helpful. It really helps the channel grow. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? You never know, someone might have $1 million coin just sitting in their pocket right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a penny that could literally change your life. Imagine digging through your couch cushions, finding a penny, and then realizing, bam! It's worth $1.7 million. That's right, $1.7 million for a tiny, copper coin. Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick around, because I'm going to break down exactly why this 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and who knows? Maybe by the end of this video, you'll be racing to check your piggy bank, but before we get into that, if you love money, especially making it, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be bringing you more wild stories about rare coins that could be hiding in your change jar. Alright, let's dive in. So, what makes the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny such a big deal? To answer that, we need a little history lesson. Don't worry, I promise to keep it interesting. Back in 1982, the US Mint was going through a bit of a midlife crisis. Copper was getting expensive, and pennies were costing more to make than they were actually worth. Talk about irony, right? So, the mint decided to switch from solid copper pennies to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition. But, as with any major transition, things got messy. Now, the key detail here is that in 1982, there were 7 different varieties of pennies produced. Yes, 7. Some were copper, some were zinc, some had a small date, some had a large date, and they were made in different mints. But the rarest of them all? The 1982 no mint mark copper penny, the one that's now worth $1.70 million. First, check the date. If it says 1982 and there's no mint mark under the date, you're off to a good start. Second, you need to figure out if it's made of copper or zinc. Here's an easy trick: weigh it. Copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams, while the newer zinc ones weigh 2.5 grams. If your 1982 no mint mark penny is the heavier one, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. And the answer is yes. There have been reports of lucky collectors stumbling upon these rare pennies in old coin jars, inherited collections, and even pocket change. A few months ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He had this old coffee can full of pennies, like, I'm talking pennies for days. Jokingly, I said, "Hey, maybe we'll find one of those $1 million pennies in here." We laughed, until we actually found a 1982 no-mint mark penny. Our hearts nearly jumped out of our chests. Unfortunately, when we weighed it, it was one of the common zinc ones worth a whopping 1 cent. But hey, for about 30 seconds, we thought we were millionaires. Moral of the story? Check your pennies. It all comes down to rarity. The US Mint never officially recorded making any copper 1982 no-mint mark pennies, which means the ones that exist are likely accidental strikes, a huge deal in the coin collecting world. These are basically the unicorns of pennies. Now, if you think you have one, don't spend it. Seriously, don't buy a bag of chips with it. Instead, get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. If they confirm it's legit, you could be looking at a massive payday. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with $1 million price tag. The big question is, do you have one? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever found a rare coin? Or do you have a stash of pennies just waiting to be checked? Let me know, and before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more tips on spotting valuable coins. Who knows? The next video might just help you find a coin that could change your life. Alright, folks, imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change for a coffee. You pull out a few pennies, and suddenly, boom! You're holding onto a little copper coin that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or even fund your early retirement. Sounds crazy, right? Well, let me tell you, it's not as far-fetched as it seems. Because today, we're talking about one of the most shocking and valuable coins out there, the 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, worth a jaw-dropping $1.80 million. So, if you've ever thought pennies are just worthless pocket change, think again. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll be running to check your coin jars. Let's dive in. First off, let's talk about what makes this penny so special. Normally, in 1968, pennies minted in Philadelphia didn't have a mint mark. But here's the twist: some of these pennies were struck with an ultra-rare error, a mistake that makes collectors go absolutely crazy. This particular no-mint mark penny isn't just any old coin. It's a rare variety that was struck using a special die, and only a handful are known to exist. That's why they fetch millions at auctions. Now, before you get too excited, let's break down what you need to look for if you think you might have one. It should clearly say 1968, and right below the date, there should be NO or D mint mark. If you see a tiny letter under the date, sorry, but that's not the $1 million coin. Not if your penny still has that shiny coppery look. Congratulations. The more red and uncirculated it appears, the higher its value. Real 1968 pennies should weigh about 3.11 grams because they're made of 95% copper. If you have a scale, it's worth checking. Some of these valuable 1968 pennies have what's called a double die error, meaning the lettering and numbers might look slightly doubled. That's like finding a bonus prize within an already rare coin. Now, you might be thinking, why would someone pay nearly $2 million for a penny? Collectors love unique coins, and when only a few exist in the world, the price skyrockets. Condition matters, and if you've got a near-perfect example, that's where the big money is. A fun fact: the last time one of these rare 1968 no-mint mark pennies was sold, it went for $1.8 million. That's more than most people's houses. My own coin hunting fail. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I got super obsessed with looking for rare pennies. I grabbed all my old coin jars, flipped over the couch cushions, even asked my grandma if she had any old pennies lying around. One night, after hours of searching, I finally found a 1968 penny with no mint mark. I was jumping up and down like I just won the lottery. Then I took it to a coin expert, feeling like a millionaire already. And guess what? It was just a regular 1968 penny. Worth about 1 cent. Talk about heartbreak, but hey, that's the fun of coin collecting. You never know when you might actually strike gold, or in this case, copper. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, we've covered a lot today. The 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is worth $1.8 million, and it could be hiding in your pocket change. So, here's what you need to do: go check your pennies. Look for that 1968 date, make sure there's no mint mark, and if you think you've got something special, get it checked by a professional, and hey, if you love finding coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons more tips and strategies coming your way, and you won't want to miss them, who knows? The next millionaire coin could be sitting in your piggy bank right now.